Chapter 81. Is it difficult to integrate rings? Discuss with Titled Douluo. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Then, Tang Lan raised a hand and summoned his life soul blue silver emperor. The 5 soul rings lit up, focusing their power on the third. Giant blue silver emperor vines burst from the earth, each as thick as an adult's waist, like miniature trees, blanketing an area half a kilometer across. From a distance, it resembled a small forest. Zhu Zhuqing, knowing how terrifying Tang Lan's third soul skill was, stared in disbelief. Before, Tang Lan's life burial technique only covered a few dozen meters. Already crazy powerful, now half a kilometer. And the vines were so thick and numerous. Zhu Zhuqing figured she'd just have to accept her fate. There was no way to escape. Phew. Tang Lan exhaled. 50% of my internal strength, just like that. Think this'll do? But he still seemed a little unsatisfied. Xiao Yan, don't be so hard on yourself, Chen said, a little stunned. That attack was like a full-force blow from a 6th ring soul emperor. Add in your martial spirit special abilities, and even a 7th ring soul saint would have a hard time escaping in a short period. That's strong. Zhu Zhuqing's face tightened. How much further was he going to leave her behind? It can be stronger, Tang Lan said, still not happy. If I add the blue-silver domain, the power would double. And what about the drain? Chen reminded him. Without the soul power, the internal support, that soul skill would just vanish. Tang Lan smiled mysteriously. Drain. The life soul blue-silver king could absorb it, the heart of life soul could replenish it, and his soul bone skill could reset and reverse it. No biggie, but Tang Lan still said modestly, we're just talking about the maximum power. Even just that instant life force drain when buried is pretty powerful. Chen didn't say anything more. Tang Lan wasn't stupid, a reminder was enough. Using the break, Tang Lan turned and started teaching Zhu Zhuqing ring fusion. It was really hard to learn before, because soul skills are so convenient, few people put in the effort to deliberately control soul power, but Zhu Zhuqing practiced Lingbo Weibo, controlling her internal strength to match her footwork every day, so her control had improved naturally. And the quality of her martial arts? The nether civet cat could become a god, it definitely beat Fire's shadow, plus, Tang Lan was here, right? Have Tang Lan enter her body and show her a few more times. Practice makes perfect. That's how she was mastering this ring-melting technique. Chen watched in astonishment. Even though you're a monster yourself, you're teaching others. No way Tang Sec doesn't rise. It's pretty simple, Tang Lan said casually. Uncle Jian, Rong knows this trick, right? I'll have her teach the others. Chen turned, giving Tang Lan a strange look. You think everyone's a monster like you? Usually, people only try to learn ring fusion after they're a 3rd ring soul master. Rong hasn't had time to learn it yet. Right, Tang Lan blinked. Was it really that hard? Is it tough? Tang Lan asked Zhu Zhuqing. What do you think, Zhu Zhuqing? What do you do when a guy is so damn good but doesn't even realize it? She wasn't great with words, she just stated plainly, it's very difficult. If I hadn't practiced Lingbo Weibo, I'd have almost no chance of mastering it. This ring fusion depends purely on talent. Oh. Was it really that hard? Tang Lan scratched his head, he really didn't think it was difficult. Rong and the others are learning either 9-yang magic technique or Lingbo Weibo, so it shouldn't be a huge deal. I'll have them figure it out first. Tang Lan pulled out his phone and sent a text to Ning Rong. Chen didn't stop him. With his eyes closed, he practiced the 9-yang divine art to change his tendons and cleanse his marrow, all while speeding up their journey. Zhu Zhuqing wasn't idle either. She asked Tang Lan for advice on many cultivation issues she'd accumulated, not just about techniques, but also about soul masters and soul beasts. Tang Lan always answered clearly and completely. His head was just overflowing with knowledge. Later, Chen got curious and started asking some questions, like how to break through a bottleneck. Usually, there were only 2 answers. enlightenment on life and death, and a lucky break. Now they had Tang Lan's 9 sun magic skill, e.g. marrow cleansing, which had its own realm-breaking effect, but... Zhu Zhuqing, tell me, why do people get stuck at levels? Tang Lan asked, sounded like he was about to lecture. Zhu Zhuqing was taken aback. She didn't expect Tang Lan to ask her. After a moment, she said. Stuck levels usually mean you've reached your limit. Mental strength, physical strength, martial soul quality, all of those can stop you. Zhu Zhuqing's answer was concise and to the point, but Tang Lan shook his head. He looked toward Chenxiang. And the artistic conception. Chenxiang looked up at the sky and said. I've accumulated enough soul power for a long time, but my understanding of the way of the sword is insufficient, so I've never been able to break through level 97. So, if the 9 Yang divine art can really help me break through after changing my tendons and cleansing my marrow, it'll really attract some old guys waiting to die. Zhu Zhuqing only understood bits and pieces of what they said. If you weren't at that level, you couldn't really understand the so-called realm. Tang Lan shook his head. Uncle Jian, Zhu Zhuqing, you're both overthinking it. Besides becoming a god at level 100, which requires faith or a divine position. For levels below 100, there are only 2 reasons for bottlenecks, insufficient soul strength and insufficient body strength. Huh. That explanation made Chenxiang turn to look at Tang Lan in confusion. Had he even listened to what they just said? Tang Lan didn't panic. He asked with a smile, Uncle Jian, have you heard of divine trials? Chenxiang shook his head. Tang Lan wasn't surprised. Wuhuan Palace blocked the existence of Poseidon Island. Others, like the Rakshasa god, the Angel god, and the Azura god, didn't operate in the open. It was normal that Chenxiang had never heard of them. Divine trials are tests set up by the gods to find successors to their divine thrones. But God can't exactly do it all themselves. Besides the main divine examination, ordinary examinations are set up to find high-quality believers and help them find successors. For example, on Poseidon Island overseas, Uncle Jian might not be able to pass the 9th Poseidon exam, but you could still get the 5th or 6th. After completing the test, Poseidon will give you rewards, like soul rings or level upgrades. And, bottlenecks disappear when you're getting gifts from God. What does that have to do with enlightenment? Chenxiang was speechless. He just stumbled into an area he knew nothing about, and he didn't know how to respond at all. Tang Lan didn't care and continued. So, I believe that bottlenecks below level 100 are a matter of soul and body. And innate martial soul defects are only the result, not the cause. The fundamental reason is that the body or soul is too weak to support a high-level martial spirit, and it has to degenerate to protect its master, resulting in malnutrition of the martial spirit. Like, if you absorb a soul ring beyond your limit, your body will explode and die. If the defects can be corrected, the martial soul can evolve again. For example, the golden triangle of Yu Xiaojiang, Flanders, and Lu Erlong. It was through the souls, soul power, and bodies of the 3 that they made up for Yu Xiaojiang's martial soul deficiencies and became the golden holy dragon. My martial soul, the blue silver emperor, has evolved 3 times, too. Chapter 82 The Underlying Logic of Self-Created Soul Skills. Zhu Zhuqing's Ambition. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Chapter 82 The Logic Behind Custom Soul Skills. Zhu Zhuqing's Big Dreams. Tang Lan made some good points, but Chenxiang still had questions. How do you explain those sudden breakthroughs, those moments of enlightenment? He asked. Simple. It's soul sublimation, Tang Lan replied smoothly. Normally, you can't really train your soul. It just grows naturally, or when you level up or absorb spirit rings. Those moments happen when you grasp some universal truth. Your soul aligns with it and gets stronger. Then, whatever was holding you back just breaks. Was there another way to explain it? Chenxiang tried to argue, but his mind drew a blank. He was a swordsman, not some scholar. So, you're saying I'm lacking in soul power? Chenxiang asked, doubtful. How does that even work with my muscle change and marrow cleansing 9 yang art? Instead of answering, Tang Lan asked, Uncle Jian, why does my body strength keep raising the spirit ring limit? Without missing a beat, Chen replied, well, duh. Your body and your spirit rings are linked, of course. Then it hit him. Wait, you're saying that your max soul potential, like your spirit power, also relies on your body? Tang Lan nodded. He'd figured that out himself, evolving the blue-silver domain 3 times, plus the boost from his ultimate life energy. Think of your soul like spirit power, it needs a strong body to grow, but you can purify and focus it. When people grasp deeper truths, the quality of their soul goes up. Just like compressing spirit power, that extra focus makes space for more strength. That's what blows through a bottleneck. Chen felt like a light bulb just went on. So, I don't need to obsess over swords. If I can connect with the world in any way, I can break through. Tang Lan agreed, then shook his head. Chen was lost. What was that about? Tang Lan clarified, that's the general idea, but you've lived and breathed swords your whole life, Uncle Jian. The way of the sword is already inside you. Trying to learn something brand new would be like starting from scratch. You could still get stuck. Chen understood, he gave Tang Lan a thumbs up. No wonder you wrote the Tang sect encyclopedia. I learned something today. Insights like that were gold, and anything that boosts the soul, while rare, could still be found. Now that he saw the path, level 97 felt almost within reach. Chen reined himself in. Patience, finishing the second stage of the 9-yang divine art would probably break that barrier naturally, forcing it might damage his foundation, so he'd save it for later. Xiao Yan, can you break down how you guys come up with these custom soul skills? Chen asked. He was dying to know. For Tang Lan and Tang San, making up new skills seemed effortless, and Tang Lan actually had a system for it. Whether you're talking about regular or custom soul skills, it all boils down to using spirit power. Spirit power has 2 basic properties, attribute and form. Attributes are things like wind, fire, lightning, etc. Form is the key to creating custom skills. Tang Lan opened his palms, a swirl of bright red energy appeared, spinning clockwise, a tiny vortex. Spirit power is basically shapeless. We use our minds to give it form. Right now, I'm making it spin. That gives it a cutting force, like a wind blade. But the spirit power itself isn't hard, so it doesn't do much damage. All I have to do is figure out how to harden the spirit power and boom, a custom soul-cutting skill. Chen thought hard, frowning, simple. He'd never thought that way because he was stuck in his old patterns. Still, Chen gathered spirit power in his hand, channeling the sword energy of the 7-killing sword. He made it spin clockwise, like Tang Lan showed. The sword energy became a crescent, slicing the air with a sharp scream. That was a custom skill. Congrats, Uncle Jian, you just invented a new soul skill, Tang Lan said, smiling. That power gives me the chills. And you're at the 6-ring Soul Emperor level now. Chen casually dismissed the sword energy. He was a Titled Douluo, why would he care about that little trick? But that idea was priceless. He studied Tang Lan carefully. Tang Lan felt a little uneasy, like Chen wanted to dissect him. These young minds are amazing, Chen sighed. I'm getting old. Time to listen to the younger generation. He turned away, lost in thought. Tang Lan let out a sigh of relief. A warning bell went off in his head. He was sharing dangerous knowledge. After all, he was only 12 years old, how could he know this much? Chen had probably been thinking that, as an elder, a friend, Tang Lan had just returned a favor. He chose to ignore it. Everyone had secrets. Tang Lan silently vowed to be more careful. He'd been improving too fast and getting cocky. That couldn't happen again. He thought about chatting with Zhu Zhuqing to distract himself. Then he noticed her eyes, bright and starry. Tang Lan was so cool. She was still an 11-year-old girl and couldn't resist the glowing Tang Lan. That was a nice surprise. Now Tang Lan understood how Yu Xiaojiang charmed Bibi Dong and Lu Erlong. It was all about showing off. An hour later, they reached the Sunset Forest. As one of the 3 biggest soul beast forests, Sunset Forest was okay, but the soul beasts there were worse than those in Star Do Forest. Most lived between 1,000 and 10,000 years. Barely any older than 10,000 years, that was. Because the forest was close to Tiando City, and the soul masters hunted the soul beasts unrestrainedly. TSK. If we don't care for the ecosystem, future generations will have a tough time. With a sigh, Tang Lan called Chen-Xian and activated the blue-silver domain, communicating with the blue-silver grass. Even if there weren't many soul beasts, blue-silver grass spread throughout the forest. Information flooded in, and Tang Lan quickly got a feel for the place. Zhu Zhuqing, how many years do you want to hunt? Tang Lan asked. 3,500 years. Zhu Zhuqing responded immediately. Didn't you say that was the limit last time? That he thought to himself. Girl, your dreams are big. Not anymore. Tang Lan corrected, my martial spirit has evolved again. Now I can control anything under 10,000 years, as long as it doesn't explode you when you absorb the spirit ring. Zhu Zhuqing's eyes widened, she looked at Tang Lan intensely. Tang Lan didn't try to show off this time. With your current body, 4,300 years is the limit. Zhu Zhuqing nodded. Then 4,300 years it is. Listening to them, Chen-Xian raised his eyebrows. Most people's fourth spirit ring was only 5,000 years, *her third ring would be 4,300 years. Chapter 83, Heart Ripped Out. Dust Heart is furious. Additional congratulations to the girl. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 83, Heart Ripped Out. Dust Heart is furious. Additional update, congratulations to daughter Zhang Miao on her first birthday. Most people's fourth soul ring is only about 5,000 years old, but your third soul ring is 4,300 years old. That's 2,540 years longer than the usual 1,760 years. That's because 200 of those years came from the whale glue, the remaining 1,140 years were added by the humanoid plug-in, Tang Lan. If Zhu Zhuqing's body could have handled it, even more could have been added. Immediately, Chen-Xian felt a pang of regret. Why hadn't he met Tang Lan when he was younger? He wouldn't be stuck at level 96 right now, he'd probably be at least level 98. Alright, let's go. Tang Lan said. We'll take a day to look around and mark any similar ones we find. Tang Lan didn't explain how he'd mark them, and neither of them asked. If Tang Lan said it, he'd figure it out. Sunset Forest is smack dab in the center of the Tiando Empire, near the colder, frigid zone. The plant density is way less compared to Star Do Forest, but blue-silver grass is tough stuff, and it's still all over the place. Dusty Heart steeled himself. Tang Lan activated his blue-silver domain, and every soul beast nearby was exposed. Whether they wanted to attack or not, they were all getting tied up with the life soul blue-silver emperor, drained. Just like that, the vitality fed his blue-silver emperor right leg bone, mental power fed his Chong Tong, soul power wasn't wasted anymore. He used it to condense the heart of the soul of life. Every bit was used. Occasionally, they'd find one that matched the attributes or age. Tang Lan implanted a soul seed and marked the spot. If the Lan Yinqiao couldn't tell how old the soul beast was, he wouldn't even bother. Everywhere they went, soul beasts were left exhausted. It was a sight to see. A ghost story has been going around Sunset Forest ever since. By nightfall, Chen-Xian was stunned. He hadn't had a chance to do anything. Tang Lan had taken care of everything, and the best part. Not a single soul beast died. They were just drained and limp. Your martial spirit is all around. It can fight, control, and last forever. It's totally broken. Chen-Xian marveled. Tang Lan just smiled. His martial soul light had evolved 3 times, and that's not even mentioning the system rewards. What did they expect? Zhu Zhuqing, on the other hand, was stuck. Too many options, she couldn't pick. That little ghost tiger we saw today, I thought it was pretty good. Tang Lan chimed in. Even though it's only 3,100 years old, the ghost tiger is known for its crazy speed and attack power. It's a good fit for you. If the soul skill gives you its natural ability, that shadow clone would be as good as a regular 5,000-year-old soul ring. In the original story, Zhu Zhuqing's fourth soul ring came from a 5,000-year-old ghost tiger, and the ghost shadow clone soul skill was pretty awesome, but Zhu Zhuqing wouldn't back down. Why go with a 3,100-year-old one when she could grab a 4,300-year-old? That's a 1,200-year difference. Too bad there weren't any herbs around to help it grow. Tang Lan didn't push it, looking in one direction. He was itching to go. The sunset forest. There was a blank spot in blue-silver grass, filled with poison, where nothing grew. The ice and fire yin-yang well was located there, but with Chenxiang around, Tang Lan couldn't just waltz in. He was planning to transplant his mother there later. The fewer people who knew about it, the better. We'll see Douluo in a couple of days. No need to rush things. Otherwise, I'll get caught stealing and that would be trouble. Compared to Tang San in the original, Tang Lan was the Tang sect leader now, tight with the Qibao Glazed Tile School, and the Tiando Empire's only supplier for communications and weapons. His status was way different. Douluo wouldn't dare start anything. Chenxiang and Gu Rome were there. With Chenxiang on guard, Tang Lan was being daring and sleeping out in the open. No. Lan Yinchao sent out an alert, and Tang Lan looked up. A ghostly face was lurking in the dark. Come down here. The scattered seeds created the life soul blue silver emperor and wrapped up the grimace, yanked it down. Boom! A human-faced demon spider crashed to the ground, roaring and struggling. Human-faced demon spider. Zhu Zhuqing exclaimed. Brother Lan, can your 8 spider spears evolve if you absorb it? Yeah, that's right. Tang Lan said, untying the bindings. He let the human-faced spider run. Zhu Zhuqing freaked out. She thought it had broken free, so she used her martial spirit and was about to chase after it. Tang Lan stopped her with the life soul blue silver emperor and dragged her back. That was a 6,000-year-old human-faced demon spider. Zhu Zhuqing would have been dead if she'd gone after it. It got away. Zhu Zhuqing said anxiously. Sword Douluo, go get it. I let it go on purpose, Tang Lan said. Zhu Zhuqing slowly turned around. Then, she realized, you want to be like the crested snake. Find the right herbs to help it grow over the years. Tang Lan gave her an appreciative look. They say big boobs mean no brains, but his woman seemed to be different. Herbs for a human-faced demon spider are hard to find, Chenxiang said coldly, and if you let it go, it'll be even harder. Tang Lan smiled. The herbs were easy. He'd use the ice and fire yin-yang well, or the Yoxiang Qilua immortal herb if he had to. Finding it was even easier. He'd already planted a soul seed. He could find it any time. These days, Tang Lan used the soul seed puppet thing a few times with the Heart of Life soul and discovered a cool trick. The soul seed could be stored in the Heart of Life soul, so, when he needed it, he didn't have to make it on the spot, he could just take one out. Easy and sneaky. After all, his soul ring hasn't even lit up yet. Who would suspect that? He even absorbed the soul seed into Chenxiang's body by accident. It was just a test. He didn't expect that this fourth soul skill, such a bug, wouldn't even be noticed by a Titled Douluo. That night, a bunch of soul beasts came to attack. They were all remembered, drained, and tossed aside. Just before dawn, the double pupils finally hit the 20,000-year mark, but there was no re-evolution like he expected. There wasn't even a fourth skill slot. 20,000 years isn't enough. Guess I'll wait for 30,000 and see. Tang Lan got distracted. A soul beast hidden in the shadows jumped out behind Tang Lan like the wind, claws out, aimed for the back of Tang Lan's heart. Clang! There was a sound of metal, and golden light appeared to protect him, but it only lasted for a second before the claws shattered it and ripped into Tang Lan's heart. It pulled out a living heart. Swish! That's when Chenxiang, who was resting with his eyes closed, reacted. The 7-killing sword flashed and struck at the air. The soul beast vanished into the shadow, dodging the Titled Douluo's attack. No wonder Tang Lan hadn't reacted when his heart was ripped out. Zhu Zhuqing realized what had happened. Staring at the left side of Tang Lan's chest, she could see right through the hole to the angry Chenxiang behind him. Her pupils shrank. Dead? He was dead. Here's an extra chapter. To celebrate my daughter's first birthday, consider this wedding candy for everyone. Chapter 84 Shadow Demon Cat. The Divinity of the Film God. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Sixth Soul Skill. Sixth Soul Skill, 10,000 swords return to the sect. Instantly, Chen conjured up a whirlwind of countless sword blades around himself, threatening to level the entire square. Uncle Jian, no. Tang Lan yelled. I'm okay, just a scratch. Chen whirled around, his gaze snapping back to Tang Lan. He stared at Tang Lan's chest, where his heart should be, now perfectly intact. He was momentarily stunned. Wait, what? She could survive having her heart ripped out? No way. It healed itself in a heartbeat. How'd she do that? But whatever, Tang Lan was fine. Chen waved his hand, thousands of sword blades shot outwards, forming a ring a kilometer wide. No soul beast was getting away. Tang Lan, now completely merged with the blue-silver domain, was baffled. He wasn't picking up anything with his mental power. Escaped. Then, he noticed a patch of blue-silver grass growing in the cracks of a tree, sending a faint signal. Something was hiding in its shadow. Fry, a giant tree, hundreds of meters tall, was instantly pulverized by the Emperor Life Soul Blue-Silver. A dark soul beast materialized out of thin air. It tried to bolt, but the Emperor Life Soul Blue-Silver, extending everywhere, instantly tied it into a tight knot, violently draining its soul power and leaving it paralyzed. Then, it dragged the beast to Tang Lan's feet. This was a dark soul beast, its eyes as black as pitch. If it weren't tangled up by the Emperor Life Soul Blue-Silver, you wouldn't even be able to make out its shape. The rising sun broke through, trying to dispel the darkness, but it was still hard to see. It was like a black hole coated in carbon nanotubes, absorbing all the light. Tang Lan, the soul beast encyclopedia incarnate, recognized it instantly. It's the Shadow Ink Cat. Tang Lan exclaimed. No wonder my spiritual power couldn't find it, and the blue-silver domain missed it too. So it was you. Lucky for him, he's immortal. Otherwise, dying like this would have been a major loss. Chen having given Tang Lan a once-over, confirmed she was alright. Hearing the name Shadow Ink Cat, he frowned, confused. I've never heard of a Shadow Ink Cat. What kind of soul beast is that? Zhu Zhuqing looked on with a curious expression. Zhuqing, you're in luck this time, Tang Lan said, sounding genuinely impressed. Uncle Jian, ever heard of the dark demon evil god tiger? Chen looked even more surprised. The dark demon evil god tiger. That's an incredibly rare soul beast. It's got cross-level challenge ability and can go toe-to-toe with a 100,000-year soul beast while only at 10,000 years old. It's even weirder than the Titan giant ape and the azure bull python. But it can't cultivate on its own. It has to devour soul masters and soul beasts to get stronger. So, humans and soul beasts alike will team up to take it down before it gets too strong. After all, he was a veteran Titled Douluo. He knew his stuff. But Uncle Jian, do you know why the dark demon evil god tiger is so messed up? Tang Lan pressed. Chen simply shook his head. Xiao Yan, just tell me, don't make me guess. Did he look like a fortune teller to her? Tang Lan chuckled. Uncle Jian, Zhuqing, the dark demon evil god tiger is an evil being created when a light white tiger ate the leftover evil godhood of the evil god Shindi. If it's allowed to grow strong enough, it could even inherit the evil god's throne. Chen and Zhu Zhuqing both gaped at him, eyes wide. The evil god's throne. Sounded epic. Hold on a second. Chen exclaimed. Xiao Lan, are you saying this Shadow Ink Cat? Tang Lan smiled and nodded, looking at Zhu Zhuqing with a knowing glance. This Shadow Ink Cat is a third-level god, the Shadow God. After he died, a wind shadow cat devoured the remnants of his godhood, resulting in this mutant. If Zhuqing can absorb its soul ring, she could inherit the soul skills of either the wind shadow cat or the Shadow Ink Cat. Zhu Zhuqing's chest rose and fell rapidly, her heart pounding with excitement. How incredibly lucky. Chen Xian's brow furrowed. He stared hard at the Shadow Ink Cat, his expression darkening. Xiao Lan, how old is this shadow ink cat? Zhu Zhuqing was jolted back to reality. Right. If it was able to ambush Tang Lan, it was probably pretty old. She looked at Tang Lan hopefully, but alas. Around 5,000 years old. Zhu Zhuqing's face fell. 5,000 years. Even if she tried to absorb it normally, her body couldn't handle it, let alone absorbing a foreign soul ring, which doubled the stress. This regret welled up in Zhu Zhuqing's eyes. What a shame, such a unique species, Chenxiang sighed. How about we keep it for now? It could be good for her fourth soul ring. Zhu Zhuqing nodded. The limit for her fourth soul ring was around 6,200 years, with Tang Lan's plug-in, they could probably stretch it to 7,500, absorbing this 5,000-year-old shadow ink cat should be doable, but why wait for the fourth soul ring? Tang Lan smiled. There are ways to boost your physical strength in a short amount of time. He pulled out the 10,000-year tiger eagle left arm bone. Here's the deal, Zhuqing, you absorb this tiger eagle left arm bone first. If that's not enough, I'll also absorb the Hylian silver fox right leg bone for you. If your third soul ring can handle this shadow ink cat, it'll be a huge win for you down the line. Zhu Zhuqing was deeply touched. The tiger eagle left arm bone and the Hylian silver fox right leg bone had been promised as rewards. Tang Lan was willing to break his promise just for her sake. Come on, don't get all emotional, Zhuqing, Tang Lan chuckled. There'll be plenty of chances to repay me in the future. Instantly, dozens of ideas flashed through Zhu Zhuqing's mind. She nodded fiercely. Zhu Zhuqing took the tiger eagle left arm bone and placed it on her left arm, channeling her soul power into it. The compatibility wasn't great, so, unlike the coxcomb snake left leg bone, she couldn't absorb it on the spot. Instead, she broke apart her own bones, crushed them into pieces, and then fused them with the soul bone. Only then could she control it like her own arm. That feeling. Zhu Zhuqing's body trembled in agony, her chest aching, but she gritted her teeth, refusing to make a sound. He gave her this opportunity, she wouldn't let it slip. Chenxiang closed his eyes and consciously rested, but inwardly, he was sighing. He was definitely partial to Ning Rongrong, but now, it seemed like Zhu Zhuqing had the edge over his little princess. As for using the tiger eagle left arm bone ahead of time, opportunities like this were rare. It was just a 10,000-year soul bone. He could make up for it later, if needed. Replacing it with other resources would keep everyone below him from complaining. Everything was based on the interests of the sect. Half an hour later, as Zhu Zhuqing opened her eyes, the system prompt chimed. The host gave the tiger eagle left arm bone to Zhu Zhuqing, causing Tang San to lose his 10,000-year soul bone and robbing Tang San of a small amount of his luck. Reward, Tang Sect Hidden Weapon Technique, Batwing Reincarnation. This 10th-ranked hidden weapon technique wasn't based on quantity. The number of hidden weapons fired at the same time couldn't exceed 36, and the trajectory of the hidden weapons was cleverly manipulated to disperse in an arc. Even if they were spotted and deflected, they could still return for a secondary attack. They could lock onto a target. It was a core Tang Sect technique, and a very good one at that. Tang Lan was pretty happy. He looked at Zhu Zhuqing as she stood up and asked, "How many years does it feel like you've improved?" Zhu Zhuqing. How was she supposed to feel that? Tang Lan realized, Zhu Zhuqing didn't have a natal soul ring, so she couldn't check her age at any time. It's okay, let me check for you. Huh? Check. How? The next moment, Zhu Zhuqing's eyes widened. She saw. Chapter 85 The Evolution Direction of the Evil Eye. Martial Spirit Evolves. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. How do we figure out the upper limit of a soul ring? Tang Lan got right to it, carefully measuring Zhu Zhuqing's bone structure and muscle strength. Zhu Zhuqing's eyes darted around nervously. Even after all this touching, she still felt a little awkward. In less than a minute, Tang Lan pulled his hand back. The limit is around 5,100 years. A 10,000-year soul bone adds 800 years, a conversion rate of 8%. Not bad. Absorbing this shadow demon cat might be pushing it a bit. and it's going to be really painful. So be ready. Zhu Zhuqing nodded firmly. Tang Lan still seemed a little concerned. He thought for a moment, then reached into his chest. His hand disappeared into his flesh, and he pulled out a glowing green heart. It was the heart of life soul. This is my fifth soul skill, Tang Lan explained. I'm stripping away the soul power and just keeping the pure life force. I'll give you a boost when you really need it. As he spoke, Tang Lan pressed the heart of life soul against Zhu Zhuqing's left breast, and it began to merge into her heart. The process looked pretty intense. Chen covered his eyes. If he hadn't seen how unusual the heart of life soul was, he would have thought Tang Lan was just taking advantage of the situation. Anyway, Zhu Zhuqing's face turned bright red, but she tried to keep her cool. The contrast was really something. So, when Tang Lan finished, he gave it a little squeeze. Eep! Zhu Zhuqing's ears burned. Tang Lan pretended like nothing happened and stepped back. The third soul ring under his feet lit up, and life burial activated. A giant life soul blue silver emperor plant enveloped Zhu Zhuqing, then a dark blue light flashed in his right eye. Soul bone skill, reset, mark. All the preparations were complete. He lifted the mummified shadow demon cat and sent it toward Zhu Zhuqing. The poor creature had long since been drained dry, but, facing death, it hung on, condensing one last dark shadow. Tang Lan smirked. The life soul blue silver emperor contracted, squeezing out the soul power that had been overdrawn from its life transformation. At the same time, it activated the soul seed and absorbed the last bit of its soul. A two-pronged approach. The shadow demon cat's limbs went limp, but its 2-meter-long tail stayed stubbornly raised. It was its final warning. Zhu Zhuqing calmly pulled out her Barrett rifle and stared into its defiant black eyes. Boom! The shadow demon cat couldn't move. Its head exploded. It was incredibly bloody. A purple and black soul ring formed and floated above its body. Zhu Zhuqing took a deep breath. She summoned her ghost cat martial spirit and drew the soul ring down onto herself. Instantly, the life soul blue silver emperor wrapped around her, activating its gluttonous effect and devouring the massive soul power. Even so, Zhu Zhuqing's clothes tore, and her skin and flesh cracked and split open. It was terrifying. The soul power being released was too much. Her body couldn't handle it. Tang Lan activated the life soul. A green light bloomed from Zhu Zhuqing's heart, and the life energy of the ultimate life attribute spread, enveloping her. It repaired the cracks in her body. It kept Zhu Zhuqing in a cracked porcelain doll state, preventing her from completely falling apart. Tang Lan breathed a small sigh of relief. Good, Zhu Zhuqing was holding on. Otherwise, even if he could save her with reset, the soul ring would be wasted. Tang Lan suddenly felt an itch in his right eye. He looked closer. He discovered that a wisp of death energy was rising from the shadow demon cat's corpse and being absorbed by the evil eye. It was slowly evolving. So the evolution condition for the evil eye was death. Tang Lan never realized it. Since getting the evil eye, Tang Lan hadn't actually killed anyone, so he never noticed. After the black death energy was absorbed, the evil eye aged 4 more years. The increase wasn't huge, but the evil eye was already 20,000 years old, while this shadow demon cat was only 5,000. Higher level soul beasts or soul masters would definitely have better results. Did he want to start a massacre and power up properly? As he pondered, a black light shot out from the shadow demon cat's body at incredible speed. Tang Lan seemed distracted, but his left eye flashed purple. Double eyes, dragon catching hand. The golden dragon bound the black light, freezing it in place. Tang Lan shifted slightly and reached out to grab it. A black bead flickered in his palm, trying to escape. Tang Lan couldn't contain it. Finally, he had to give up. Tang Lan chuckled. Nice try. He had to watch out for that trick. When Tang San hunted the dark demon evil god tiger, an evil god bead escaped from it. That was the true core of the evil god's power. The shadow demon cat, which also absorbed divinity, might have the same trick. He had been distracted, paying attention the whole time, but what was the point of this black bead? As he thought about it, the black bead became restless again, but this time it had a clear target, and it shot toward Zhu Zhuqing like a bullet. This was, Tang Lan hesitated. There were 25 seconds left on the mark. He could try something, so he released the black bead, and it flew straight toward Zhu Zhuqing, plunging into the ghost cat martial spirit. Ugh. Zhu Zhuqing grunted, and the cracks on her body suddenly widened. Blue-silver domain, that the dense life-soul blue-silver emperor sprung from the ground, releasing tiny motes of green light, gathering into a stream rushing toward Zhu Zhuqing. The cracks constricted again. Zhu Zhuqing's furrowed brow relaxed, she focused on absorbing the soul ring. Tang Lan watched her closely, counting down the mark in his head. The ghost cat, now infused with the black bead, was covered in a layer of black light, slowly consuming the original purple light. It was like penetration, transformation. It was the evolution of the martial spirit. The divinity of this shadow god wasn't going to escape, it was simply choosing Zhu Zhuqing's martial spirit as a new vessel to integrate and transform the ghost cat. Until the very last second, nothing changed. Tang Lan didn't activate reset. Instead, he focused on helping Zhu Zhuqing absorb the soul ring and the black bead. Good thing he had been practicing the 7 treasure glazed tile sex multitasking techniques. He could now manage the 4 orifices heart. He could do 4 things at once, controlling the life-soul blue-silver emperor to absorb soul power, controlling the heart of life-soul to replenish vitality, using the blue-silver domain to infuse vitality. Doing 3 things at once was nothing. As for consumption, he was using the absorbed soul power directly, combined with the endless life force of the 9 yang divine art. His internal power was barely budging. With 10 times the reserves of anyone at his level, he could stay here all day. But Zhu Zhuqing wouldn't need that much time. After an hour, the soul ring's violent energy was finally tamed, and it settled down obediently at Zhu Zhuqing's feet. Absorption successful. The purple light on the ghost cat martial spirit had been completely consumed. It had turned into absolute darkness, reflecting no light, just like the original shadow demon cat. Just as he thought it was over, a ray of black light shot out from the shadow demon cat's corpse and directly into Zhu Zhuqing's rear end. Ah! Zhu Zhuqing cried out in pain, and a black tail sprouted out. Even without summoning her martial spirit, the 2-meter-long black cat tail was made of 23 bones, and its appearance was shrouded in that same absolute blackness. It echoed the new martial spirit from afar. This was Chapter 86 Bug's Soul Skill. Zhu Zhuqing offers a kiss. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Really? Tang Lan asked, a hint of doubt in his voice. A soul bone just popped out. Weird. He'd scanned the shadow demon cat with his mental power the instant it died. No soul bones, so where did this extra one come from? Tang Lan glanced at the pure black civet spirit behind Zhu Zhuqing, probably a side effect of absorbing the black beads. Makes sense, it was a soul beast touched by the shadow god, so a bonus soul bone isn't that crazy, which means the dark demon evil god tiger could have dropped soul bones too, but the evil god pearl got away, and Tang San missed out. Later, I'll hunt that tiger and grab the evil god bead. If I can get a soul bone out of that, I gotta make sure the boss lady sees it and hooks me up with a reward. Lost in thought, Tang Lan was imagining being showered with affection when Zhu Zhuqing suddenly rushed over. She wrapped her arms around his neck, stood on her tiptoes, and planted a sweet kiss on him. Xiao. Kids these days. So forward, but Zhu Zhuqing just snagged a super rare soul ring, evolved her martial soul, and even got a bonus soul bone. Guess she's allowed to get a little excited. Xiao turned his back and floated away on his 7-kill sword, giving the young lover some privacy. Tang Lan snapped back to reality. Even though Zhu Zhuqing has an icy personality, she'd never kissed him like that before, throwing him for a loop. But once he'd processed what happened, damn, girl. You're playing with fire. Half an hour later, Xiao reappeared, with Zhu Zhuqing, who was blushing furiously but trying to play it cool. Back in Tiando City, after getting a dose of 9 yang divine skill internal energy, Zhu Zhuqing finally regained her composure. She shot Tang Lan an angry look and gave his waist a playful pinch. Ow, damn. Is this some kind of universal female instinct? He quickly grabbed her hand. Zhuqing, tell me what you got. Speaking of which, Zhu Zhuqing couldn't help but crack a smile, like the spring breeze after a long winter. Beautiful doesn't even begin to describe it. Tang Lan was mesmerized. Turns out, Zhu Zhuqing smiling is a sight to behold. The third soul ring skill is called Shadow Step. It's the move the shadow demon cat used to sneak attack you. Instant transmission, 50% speed boost, and I can hide in shadows for 15 seconds without being detected by mental power. Plus, a shadow-breaking attack that increases damage by 50%. Works with other soul skills, too. Holy crap. That's what a 5,000-year soul ring can do. Speed, stealth, and attack all in one, sounds more like a 10,000-year skill. What about the soul bone? Tang Lan asked. It should boost your power, right? Definitely. Zhu Zhuqing confirmed. The bone gives me an ability to pierce through invisibility and ignore up to 10 levels of defense. It probably buffs my soul skills, too, but I don't know by how much. Awesome. The Shadow Demon Cat must have used that defense-ignoring trick to break through his indestructible body. Technically, the 5,000-year-old Shadow Demon Cat should be considered a 50,000-year beast due to its unique nature, roughly equivalent to a 7th ring soul saint. And the bonus soul bone skill? Tang Lan pressed, Zhu Zhuqing's lips curled up even higher. It's called Shadow Impact. It attacks the enemy's shadow, dealing 50% of the damage to their real body, and also ignores defense. If I use it with Shadow Step, the synchronization ratio doubles to 100%, and I get the invisibility piercing bonus, too. Damn! Who could survive that? Tang Lan knows he couldn't. If they were on the same level, Zhu Zhuqing could sneak into his shadow and hit him with that combo, and it would be game over. If he can't handle it, other soul masters don't stand a chance. Anything else? Zhu Zhuqing summoned her dark martial soul, unable to hide the joy in her eyes. It's evolved. The shadow power is stronger now. I guess it's more like a shadow civet. The first and second soul skills changed, too. The first soul ring lit up. Her original skill was Netherworld Stab, which gave her sharp claws and a speed boost. Now, a cat-shaped shadow burst from the ground under her feet, tearing deep gashes in the ground. The shadow then returned to Zhu Zhuqing, becoming one with her. The first soul ring lit up again. This time, the shadow split into 2 black orbs, which attached to the backs of Zhu Zhuqing's hands and turned into shadow claws. First soul skill, Shadow Thrust. I can attack or empower myself. My speed doubles, and I get extra acceleration in the dark. This is a century-old skill. Sounds like a 1,000-year skill. Zhu Zhuqing continued, activating her second soul ring. It spun at high speed, and the shadow claws rained down on the blue-silver emperor, splitting a small gap. Even a 7-ring soul saint would struggle to break free. The lingering black energy prevented the life attribute plant from healing itself. After a few seconds, the black energy faded, and the plant healed itself, but for an ordinary person, the wound would be lethal. Second soul skill, Shadow Barrage. Like Netherworld Barrage, but it strengthens the damage to wounds. The shadow power penetrates the body, destroying the meridians, organs, and bones. Zhu Zhuqing finished and stared at Tang Lan, eager for his approval, like a little woman looking for validation. Amazing! Tang Lan said sincerely. I declare you unbeatable at our level. Zhu Zhuqing's face lit up. It was the first time Tang Lan had seen her so cheerful. Chen watched Tang Lan and Zhu Zhuqing, as if they had pink bubbles around them. He shook his head. Zhu Zhuqing had everything: looks, body, strength, talent, and potential. Her new soul skills and soul bone made her a lethal assassin. Even he wouldn't be able to defend himself for long. How could Rome compete with that? He heard Tang Lan had a sister, though. I need to tell Fengji to give up any ideas of marriage. With the soul ring secured, the three took a quick break and flew back to Tangmen. On the way, Zhu Zhuqing hugged Tang Lan, giving him a massage. She'd had to remove the weight she was carrying. She looked like she was head over heels in love, ignoring Chen. Looks like Zhu Zhuqing has a bit of a love brain. Well, it is the land of romance. Love brain is usually an insult, but when the person being loved is you, it's a great deal. Who wouldn't want someone who adores them? And she has nice breasts and a big butt. Anyway, Tang Lan was enjoying it. Chen pretended not to notice. He only has swords on his mind, so it doesn't matter. Still, the 7 killing swords were leaving sonic booms. He cut their travel time in half and landed in front of the city gates. He expected Chenxiang to head back, but Chenxiang put away his sword and landed. Something else, Uncle Jian? Tang Lan asked. The competition is tomorrow. I'll stay at Tangmen tonight, Chenxiang said. Okay, I'll have someone set you up. Thanks, Uncle Jian, you're a lifesaver. Past the gates, Chenxiang summoned his sword again and flew them to Tangmen. Going too fast might attract unwanted attention. This was Tiando City, Emperor Shui's territory. Outside Tangmen Academy, there was a huge crowd. The Tang Sect Encyclopedia made Tang Sect famous throughout the continent. The common people benefited the most from being given free access to knowledge. And civilian soul masters made up the majority of people. They were grateful, inspired, and ready to join up. Everyone wanted to join the Tang clan and make it. If Tang Lan hadn't asked Qian Renshue to send someone to help screen applicants, Tang Sect would have been swallowed up by Tiando City. Thriving, Chenxiang said. With the people's support, Tang Sect will definitely rise. Uncle Jian has great eyes, Tang Lan said sarcastically. It made Chenxiang laugh. He led them directly into Tang Sect. Someone rose into the air to stop them. It was a middle-aged man with fiery wings on his back, radiating the aura of a strong man. He bowed. Sorry for stopping you, Sword Douluo. My daughter's been imprisoned. I beg your forgiveness. Sect Master Tang, I'm Huo Wu's father, Huo Rong. I apologize for Huo Wu's actions. I've brought a small gift. Huo Rong pulled out a large gift box and tossed it to Tang Lan. It made a whooshing sound. Is this an apology or a threat? Humph, Chenxiang scoffed. The gift box burst open, revealing a fiery red bead. Huo Rong felt like a mountain was weighing on him. Cold sweat poured down his face. His expression changed. He'd underestimated Sword Douluo's relationship with Tang Lan. He couldn't help but feel resentful. He was a powerful Contra, and his daughter was in jail. He was allowed to be angry. Tang Lan stayed silent. He recognized the bead, a fire core. Fire-attributed soul beasts and fire elves had a small chance of forming these cores after 10,000 years. Fire-attribute soul masters can use them to improve their cultivation or directly absorb them to increase their soul power, based on the rule that every 1,000 years adds 1 centimeter to the core. This core was 12 centimeters in diameter, making it about 12,000 years old. For ordinary people, it was a treasure, but Xian and Tang Lan were unimpressed. Besides, Huo Rong was being too arrogant. He said it was an apology, but it felt more like an insult. Wow, Tang Lan said. You're a dean, but your eyesight is terrible. Huo Rong was stunned. Was he being mocked? Then he realized he was the only dean present. Rage boiled inside him. Sect Master Tang. What do you mean? Huo Rong demanded. I'm here to apologize for my daughter under the orders of His Highness the Crown Prince. Are you refusing? That he also has a bad attitude. Trying to use the prince's authority. It was your prince who ordered your daughter to be locked up, and he wanted you to beg Tang Lan for forgiveness. The prince's favoritism was obvious, right? Chenxiang didn't bother arguing. He condensed sword energy into a spinning blade and threw it. Deceptively simple. Huo Rong braced for an impact. He summoned a flaming birdman and put his hands together to catch the blade, but even Chenxiang's casual attack carried the strength of a level 96 peak Douluo. Huo Rong barely managed to block the blade without being torn to pieces. He flew away like a broken kite, heading back towards the palace. Chenxiang was sending him back to His Highness the Crown Prince. Thanks, Uncle Jian, Tang Lan said. If I came back alone, today would be a mess. Huo Rong was like a powder keg, ready to explode, if Chenxiang wasn't here. He's just a level 82 Contra, Chenxiang said. You could hold him off. If Xiao San had his Barrett, it would have been luck he met me. Chenxiang made it look like he was just teaching Huo Rong a lesson, but he actually saved his life. If Huo Rong wasn't a princeling and Xue Qinghe wasn't Ning Fengji's disciple, things wouldn't be so kind. This was the Tang Sect's turf. First, Huo Rong's daughter made trouble. Then, Huo Rong showed up. If they didn't send a message, the Tang Sect would be mocked. this was up to Zhu Zhuqing to handle. Tang Lan didn't reply. The past 2 months weren't just physical training, everyone understood how to use Barrett. The error was less than a palm's width within a kilometer. If anything happened, they'd set up 7 snipers and drop the intruders in seconds, not to mention that they'd already established an ammo assembly line, and the Vulcan cannon could suppress the enemy into oblivion. Neither of them cared much about it. They flew straight into Tang Men. In the distance, soul skills were lighting up. Tang San, Dai Mubai, Ning Rongrong, Oscar, and Meng Yiran. Against them, Jiang Zhu was healing her teammates, and there were 6 others, using less to fight more. The battle was tense. Chen watched from the air, focusing on Ning Rongrong. A young man with a crazy haircut was chasing her. Tang Lan recognized him. It was Jing Ling, a student from Lanba Academy and the substitute from the original Shrek team. His martial soul was a rare skeleton, and his sensitivity was even higher than Zhu Zhuqing's. Ning Rongrong couldn't shake him. Only skilled fighters can withstand his barrage of attacks, but Ning Rongrong held the 7 treasures glazed pagoda and moved in a small area, narrowly dodging Jing Ling's bone blade, Lingbo Weibu. He couldn't even touch the corner of her clothes. The more Jingling fought, the angrier he became. He couldn't hit a level 30 auxiliary soul master. What a disgrace. He activated second soul skill, Bone Demon Blessing. Jing Ling's speed surged. He was certain he would win. He would finally catch her. But Ning Rongrong didn't panic, because second soul skill, White Tiger Fierce Light Wave. Dai Mubai saved her in time. Jing Ling had to dodge. The blue-silver grass wrapped around Ning Rongrong's arm and pulled her back. Chen nodded. Rongrong's movement technique is the Lingbo Weibu soul skill. Not bad. Tang Lan didn't reply. He stared at the girl with aqua blue hair. She had a mature look. The 5 feet 5 inches figure was well proportioned, and she was even more attractive than Xiao Wu. She wasn't surprising, at first, but the more he looked at her, the more beautiful he felt. The more he looked at her, the more she looked familiar. Huh. That wasn't. Chapter 87 Open the Gundam's Martial Spirit. Cousin Bai Chenxiang. Ad. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tang Lan looked at the girl, finding her increasingly familiar, but Zhu Zhuqing seemed to misunderstand, scrutinizing him with a growing sense of curiosity. Another top-tier girl. Tang Lan, are you getting excited again? That the first soul ring of the girl with flowing aqua blue hair illuminated. A silent flash. Ning Rongrong and Lan Yinchao were frozen in their tracks. An instant soul skill with a freezing effect. It finally clicked for Tang Lan. Shui Binger, the former captain of the Tianshui Academy team. Why was she at Tang Men Academy? Scanning the rest of the team, another girl with similar aqua blue hair, though more youthful and cute, had eyebrows reminiscent of Shui Binger. It was Shui Binger's half-sister, Shui Yuer. The 2 sisters were together. Looks like Tianshui Academy took a major hit this year, Tang Lan mused. When Dai Mubai saw Ning Rongrong targeted, his White Tiger light wave surged toward Shui Binger. Tai Long, an attack type, immediately stepped in front of her. Shui Binger's second soul ring lit up. Second soul skill, Ice Ring Armor. Crystalline blue armor enveloped Tai Long and Shui Binger. The White Tiger light wave crashed into the armor, causing cracks to spiderweb across its surface. After a tense few seconds, Shui Binger's defense faltered, and the ice ring shattered. The White Tiger light wave, however, was spent. Tai Long, without using any soul skills, merely relied on his raw strength to deflect it, leaving behind a minor scratch. Jiangzhu's healing aura mended it instantly. In this clash of second soul skills, Dai Mubai had a slight edge, but Shui Binger's ice ring armor was designed for group defense. Dai Mubai's White Tiger light wave was a single, powerful blast. Overall, Shui Binger had the advantage. Taking advantage of the opening, Meng Yiran darted toward Ning Rongrong. First soul skill, Snake Blade. The ice encasing Ning Rongrong shattered, and her third 1,000-year soul ring blazed. Third soul skill, Snake Shadow. The top of her snake-headed staff split into 3 red, purple, and blue serpent heads, which lunged out to bite Huang Yuan, Jing Ling, and Tai Long. Jing Ling nimbly dodged out of range. The blue snake head immediately turned and locked onto Tai Long. First soul skill, Wolf Flash. Huang Yuan, realizing he was outmatched, retreated. Second soul skill, explosive power. Tai Long's fists transformed into crushing hammers, striking the purple and blue snake heads head-on, sending them veering off course. Without hesitation, he charged through the openings toward Ning Rongrong, ignoring any potential flanking attacks. First soul skill, freeze. The three flanking attackers and Meng Yiran were instantly frozen. Tai Long brushed past her effortlessly. Huang Yuan, who had hastily retreated, looked awkward, a clear sign of poor teamwork. Tai Long caught up to Ning Rongrong, with Jing Ling attacking from the side. They thought their combined efforts would ensure victory, but instead of retreating, Ning Rongrong weaved and dodged, skillfully evading both men's attacks and sliding toward Meng Yiran near the ground. With a quick motion, she unleashed Capture the Dragon at point-blank range, colliding with Tyrone's fist and using its destructive force to shatter the ice. She was supposed to be just an assistant. Yet she remained unscathed against both a power attacker and an agility attacker. She even managed to help her teammate escape. Ning Rongrong's maneuver was a brilliant display of skill, but as the backdrop, Tai Long and Jingling felt a wave of shame and anger. Shame. A blemish on their record. They were about to attack in a rage. A blur passed by. Oscar scooped up Ning Rongrong and Meng Yiran and lifted them into the sky, safely out of Shui Binger's soul skill range. The female soul master pursuing Oscar could only gaze skyward with frustration. Her martial spirit was a flying type. But her level was too low to have absorbed a flying soul skill. She could only watch helplessly, seething with anger. Tang Lan raised his eyebrows, surprised. Another familiar face, tall and well-proportioned, with a graceful figure, lithe movements, and a lovely face. She was just a bit too slender, slightly less striking than Zhu Zhuqing and Xiao Wu. Judging by lineage, this should be Tang Lan and Tang San's cousin, Bai Chenxiang. Also one of the reasons for Tang San's double-standard god-king tendencies. Had she joined Tang Men too? Interesting, the Min clan must be accepting new members. As everyone looked up, Tang Lan and the others were naturally revealed. Sect leader. Grandpa Jian. Zhu Zhuqing. You're back. The fierce battle paused. Oscar took the opportunity to lead his team and quietly joined Dai Mubai and Tang San. Chen Xian guided the 7-kill sword downwards. Zhao Wuji stepped forward to greet them. Sect leader, Sword Douluo, you're back. I'll have Mubai and the others spar with the Academy's second team. These 7 are all promising prospects. After the assessment, I hope to recommend them to you for recruitment into the inner sect. 4 are from the original Lanba Academy, and 3 joined later. Lu Erlong chimed in, pulling Jiangzhu forward. Sect leader, you've met my goddaughter Jiangzhu, who has a martial soul healing scepter. She's a 16-year-old, level 28 healing support soul master. Jiangzhu, still dressed provocatively, smiled at Tang Lan, a polite smile tinged with resentment. She was probably still annoyed that he hadn't let her watch the spectacle last time, but due to Tang Lan's position, she didn't dare show it openly. Lu Erlong, however, knew her too well. She immediately scolded, "What's with that attitude? Kneel." Jiangzhu was shocked. The curves exposed on her chest were eye-catching, then she realized her mistake. She knelt down with a thud. She was already dressed revealingly, but now most of her skin was exposed directly in front of Tang Lan's eyes. Tang Lan was speechless. He even suspected Jiangzhu had done this on purpose to tempt him. Too bad. She was nowhere near as captivating as Zhu Zhuqing, so Tang Lan wasn't interested. He waved his hand dismissively. For Lu Erlong's sake, I'll let it slide this time. Thank you, sect leader. Jiangzhu stood up, a hint of regret in her eyes. It had indeed been deliberate. Lu Erlong quickly continued the introductions. This is Tai Long, a powerful guerrilla martial spirit. He's a 16-year-old, level 30 power attack type soul master, the most talented student in our academy. As their name suggests, the Tyrones were tall, strong, and muscular. He grinned innocently, gums showing, but when he opened his mouth Sect leader, the Tang sect encyclopedia you wrote is so thick. My old man makes me memorize the whole thing every day, and after 2 months, I've only gotten through half of it. Wow. Meeting for the first time, he complained about someone's acclaimed masterpiece. This was Tyrone. Lu Erlong had a notoriously short fuse. Clang, she punched Tai Long into the ground and then kicked him away. Go back and get your parents. Then kneel in front of the school. If you dare to get up, I'll expel you immediately. Point 2 promising students acting out in a row. Lu Erlong was flustered, she could only offer Tang Lan a wry smile. Tang Lan smiled casually. This Tai Long had an honest character and acted without thinking. He easily offended people, but he was a genuine person. If used correctly, he'd be a model worker who ate grass and produced milk. Seeing that Tang Lan wasn't angry, Lu Erlong breathed a sigh of relief. Although Tang Lan was young, his accomplishments were undeniable. She decisively gestured for Jing Ling to step forward. Jing Ling, martial spirit skeleton, is a rare nether type. He's a 16-year-old, level 30 agility attack type soul master, even more talented than Tai Long. Before, Tai Long was the most talented, but now he's been downgraded. Looks like his low emotional intelligence cost him points. Tang Lan became interested in this kid whose name sounded like elf. That skeleton martial spirit reminded him of Susanoo. It's outrageous to make skeletons an agility attack type. Wouldn't it be better to pilot a Gundam? If there are 8 people below the 5-star rating, you can add more. After reaching 60 people, it will be changed to a 5-star rating for every 10 people. Please rate it now. Chapter 88 The Air Force of the Soul Master World. An opportunity for martial soul evolution. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The skeleton martial spirit is an agility attack type now. That's kinda wild. Dude should be piloting a Gundam, not this. Oh well, Jing Ling had just absorbed 2 soul rings, so transforming was out of the question. How to even make this work? Tang Lan mentally flipped through countless soul beasts, piecing together different ideas. Bingo, I got it. I've got some thoughts about your martial soul, Tang Lan said directly. If you're up for it, you can hunt for the Tang Sect 2nd generation disciple soul ring. I'll take care of the arrangements. Even with his cool, detached vibe, his eyes always had that golden glint. The guy who writes the Tang Sect encyclopedia will personally hook you up with a custom soul ring package. Why would you even hesitate? He bowed deeply. Disciple Jing Ling greets the sect master. Tang Lan nodded, pleased, and discovered a new source of enjoyment. With a flick of his fingers, he sent out a ball of spiritual light, which went straight into Jing Ling's mind. It's Lingbo Weibo. Consider this an advance. Serve the Tang Sect well in the future. Jing Ling fought hard to resist the temptation of Lingbo Weibo and knelt down on one knee before Tang Lan. I will obey the sect master's will. After Tang Lan acknowledged him, Jing Ling stood up and stepped aside, knowing his place. Time to start digesting Lingbo Weibo. He was dying to learn that movement technique. Tang Lan was impressed, quiet, smart, and disciplined, a good kid who won't cause trouble. Huang Yuan looked at Tang Lan expectantly. Lu Erlong said, this is Huang Yuan, a lone wolf martial soul, a 16-year-old, level 29 attack type battle soul master. A solid kid. Also 16, Tai Long is level 30, Huang Yuan is level 29. Makes sense, but, lone wolf martial soul. What are the odds? Huang Yuan, right? Tang Lan narrowed his eyes. Do you know Su Yuntao from the Spirit Hall? Huang Yuan was a little confused, but he still answered respectfully, yes, sect master, Su Yuntao is my uncle. His innate soul power is level 2, so he doesn't have much talent. Mine is level 5, so I'm the best in the family. Got it. It's fate, Tang Lan said with a smile. My third son and I awakened our martial souls at the Spirit Hall, with Su Yuntao in charge. You can be a 3rd-generation inner sect disciple. Tang Lan sent out a ball of spiritual light. Inside, in addition to the 2nd level of the 9 Sons divine art, were a few instructions, telling him to send a message back and bring Su Yuntao to the Tang Sect, the famous roadside attraction of Novice Village, the blind Douluo, and the first person to spread poison. Even if he just stands at the gate, good luck might rub off on him. Anyway, the family's got enough cash. It's no big deal to support him. There you go. Gotta thank him for his Kindness. Even though Huang Yuan was a bit confused, he bowed respectfully. As you command. Tang Lan nodded and turned to Shui Binger and the other three girls. Zhao Wuji hurried forward, introducing them proudly. Sect Master, these two nieces, Shui Binger and Shui Yuer, are the daughters of an old friend. They were already enrolled at Tianshui Academy, but I talked them into transferring here. Shui Binger, 16 years old, level 38 control system War Soul Master, martial soul is condensing water flying Wan, but I think Ice Phoenix is a better name. Her first soul skill is instant group control, the second is group protection, and the third is group repel. She's calm and collected, perfect to captain the second team. Shui Binger showed off her martial soul, a beautiful bird made of ice crystals. Tang Lan seemed to notice something and looked closer, a floral scent wafted over, refreshing his mind. Shui Binger tensed up, watching Tang Lan closely. The image of a well-behaved student. JPG, like waiting for a test to be graded. Interesting. Tang Lan stroked his chin. Your condensing water flying Wan is alright, but the Ice Phoenix is way better. If you can find some ice-attributed heavenly treasures, you could evolve into an Ice Phoenix, maybe even gain the ultimate ice attribute. Let me think, what's suitable? A 100,000-year-old ice-type soul bone, or a 50,000-year-old ice-type fairy grass, or an 80,000-year-old ice-type soul beast inner core. Those are hard to find. Even so, Shui Binger's breathing quickened. This is martial soul evolution. Hard for others, but she got a roadmap, to search with purpose and run around with the person who tells you how to do it. Can it be the same? Thank you for your advice, Sect Master. Shui Binger was curious. I know about martial soul evolution, but what are these ultimate attributes? It's not in the Tang sect encyclopedia. Wow. She said that with such conviction that it seemed like she had the whole thing memorized. She's a quick learner. Even Chen looked curious. Tang Lan didn't hold anything back. I just discovered this ultimate attribute recently, so it's not in the encyclopedia. To be exact, it should be called, a martial soul with ultimate attributes. Tang Lan released his life soul, the Blue-Silver Emperor. My martial soul has mutated once and evolved twice, and it's reached the ultimate level of Blue-Silver Grass, with the ultimate attributes of life and soul. The effect is pretty simple. It strengthens your own soul skills of the same attribute and suppresses the enemies. Like Jiangzhu, activate your soul skills. Jiangzhu obeyed and summoned the healing staff, using her first soul skill, Healing Halo, slowly restoring everyone's strength. Tang Lan thought for a moment. Everyone clearly felt that the recovery speed had more than doubled. How is that possible? Jiangzhu exclaimed, it uses twice the energy, but the effect is halved for others. A perfect example of ultimate attributes. Instantly, everyone's eyes changed as they looked at Tang Lan. Envy, admiration, obsession, pride, just to name a few, but without a doubt, they were all impressed by Tang Lan's charisma. Is this the start of forming a domain? Chen couldn't help but say, suppressing similar attributes and boosting your own is what happens in most domains. Not sure yet, but it's a good guess and we'll need to test it to see if it lines up. Chen nodded, didn't think much of it. Shui Binger couldn't help but ask, Sect Master, will absorbing single attribute soul rings help with the ultimate attribute? Tang Lan simply shook his head. When it comes to martial soul evolution, stacking a single attribute is only a secondary factor, not a game changer. You need qualitative shifts, like 100,000-year soul bone, fairy grass inner core, etc., like I mentioned. But the best option for an ultimate martial soul is to select a single attribute soul ring. There is an order of priority that needs to be clearly distinguished. Shui Binger nodded repeatedly. It made perfect sense. She had been right to talk her father into pulling her out of Tianshui Academy and joining the Tang clan. Zhao Wuji jumped in right on cue. Sect Master, there's also my niece Shui Yuer. She's 16, Shui Binger's sister. Her martial soul is Jade Dolphin, and she's a level 30 agility attack war soul master. The two nieces have a martial soul fusion skill, ice and snow drifting. It's super powerful, both attack and defense, and it's enough to make them key members of the second team. Tang Lan pretended to be surprised and studied the sisters carefully. He suddenly said, "Your martial soul fusion skill makes you into the more powerful Ice Phoenix, right?" Shui Binger and Shui Yuer looked confused, but they both nodded. Shui Binger said, "Our martial soul fusion skill has two forms. One is a constant barrage of snowflakes. The second is when I inject my martial soul's essence to form a giant Ice Phoenix." Tang Lan smiled. "I can confirm it, Shui Binger, your martial soul can indeed evolve into an Ice Phoenix. Based on my research into martial soul fusion techniques, it's actually the martial soul's potential being unlocked, and the combined power lets you take on a more advanced form. For example, Yu Xiaojiang, our sect's honorary elder, his mutated martial soul, Luo Sanpao, can evolve into a golden sacred dragon with the help of the other two. So if he gets the chance, he could evolve multiple times, just like me, and eventually become the golden sacred dragon. Oh, and by the way, my innate soul power is only level 3. That last sentence made Shui Binger and the others, hearing it for the first time, gape. What? Innate soul power level 3? And Tang Lan still managed to evolve to the peak of blue-silver grass. Suddenly, an image of studying and training to change your fate flashed in everyone's minds, a classic example of overcoming fate. Hope lit up in Lu Erlong's eyes. Xiaojiang can still be saved. Yu Xiaojiang's innate soul power is only half a level, but he doesn't need to grow much, as long as he breaks through the bottleneck, increases his soul power, and increases his lifespan. Sect Master, you're amazing. Shui Binger said sincerely. Your story should be in the Tang Sect Encyclopedia, so people won't lose hope. Tang Lan waved his hand. Rare treasures are hard to come by, and my 2 evolutions can't be copied. Otherwise, I would have evolved my wife too. Publishing such a rare event will only give normal people false hope. We need to accept that most people will be average in life, so don't shatter their peace. With such a mindset, Shui Binger was so ashamed that her eyes sparkled. Shui Yuer, Bai Chenxiang, Meng Yiran, and Jiangzhu felt the same, with stars in their eyes. Who can resist someone so handsome and talented? Tang San's gaze was also complicated. It was for his own good, but the opportunity was rare. Are you 2 sisters willing to join the Tang sect's inner sect? Tang Lan said, going through the motions. As first-generation disciples, I'll teach you the Lingbo Weibu technique. Shui Binger and Shui Yuer nodded eagerly, bowed and saluted. Tang Lan sent out a ball of spiritual light containing Lingbo Weibu and the true martial 7 interception formations, standard for first-generation disciples. Shui Yuer instantly got lost in it. Shui Binger, more composed, suppressed her eagerness and bowed again, pulling her sister aside. Finally, Bai Chenxiang stepped forward. Sect Master, my name is Bai Chenxiang, Wuhuan Swift Falcon, an 11-year-old level 27 agility attack-type battle soul master. I'm from the Swift clan, and my family sent me to join the Tang sect. Her look and posture practically screamed, I'm here for you. Too bad, given their relationship, it was doomed. Tang Lan pretended not to know and recalled. I remember the Swift clan specializes in speed, right? And all your soul rings come from the same kind of soul beast? The sect master knows his stuff. Bai Chenxiang said unhappily. Too bad I didn't get a flying soul skill when I applied the soul ring twice. Otherwise, that uncle wouldn't have gotten away just now. Oscar, stroking his stubble, froze. Still hung up on that joke. Every newcomer needs to be hazed. The Swift clan, Chen said. Xiaolan, do you know that they used to be an affiliated sect of the Clear Sky sect? Since the Clear Sky sect vanished, they haven't been doing too well. Bai Chenxiang's expression darkened. We Swift clan members are just fast, but it's not much use. That was a misinterpretation of Chen Xian's point. She thought she was reminding Tang Lan that the Swift clan was useless and a liability. She was about to leave in despair. Tang Lan said, focusing on one thing has its weaknesses, but it also makes its strengths more prominent. It's just that the attack power isn't enough. Uncle Jian, don't forget that our Tang sect makes something. He looked at Ning Rongrong. Rongrong, show them. Ning Rongrong walked out with a smile. She started showing them off one by one. Production of firearms and soul guides hasn't gone up yet. The Heaven Do Empire buys as much as they can ship, so the public doesn't know the Tang sect status as an arms factory. Or Huarong wouldn't be holding it. Looking at this, everyone was instantly stunned. Good grief. The sect master is not only knowledgeable, but also a scientist. They've developed whole sets of soul guides. Bai Chenxiang's eyes shone. These firearms soul guides perfectly make up for the Swift clan's lack of attack power. They really blew up. A Barrett long-range sniper rifle. In the hands of a Swift clan member, they could rush in front of the enemy, shove the barrel in his mouth and blast him. Bai Chenxiang had a strong feeling that the Tang sect was the key to the Swift clan's rise. And look at Tang men, they annexed Lanba Academy, bought surrounding land, and even sent out the royal guards to help select members, money, power, future prospects. They had it all, and they were still in the startup phase, so they needed manpower. Why hesitate? They were a Swift clan, but it was so miserable. Even though he had no speed and wasn't very strong in combat, and he had no side job, he pretended to be a soul master and became Kongiji. In recent years, it all depended on the other three families for help, or they would have disbanded long ago. Bai Chenxiang said hopefully, Sect Master, if you don't mind, how about joining the Tang clan as a member of the Swift clan? Oh. Tang Lan asked. Can you make that decision? Of course. Bai Chenxiang puffed out her chest. My grandfather Bai He is the leader of the Swift clan. He listens to me. Tang Lan looked at Ning Rongrong. Were these little princesses of the same clan the same mold? What are you looking at me for? Ning Rongrong wrinkled her nose. I've already changed my ways, so don't bring up the dark history. Tang Lan shrugged, looked at Bai Chenxiang who was full of expectation. The Min clan is useless in peacetime, but in wartime they are the top scouts, coupled with firearms. It is a ready-made air force. They had to win. Tang Lan took out a storage ring and put 2 copies of all the firearms in it, passed it to Bai Chenxiang. Bai Chenxiang, if you can convince the Swift clan to join the Tang sect, I promise you the status of a disciple for a generation. Sect skills are randomly selected from 3 types of cultivation. At the same time, the Swift Hall is specially created for the Swift clan, and you, the Swift clan, can choose the master of the hall. That reward, that treatment that was full of sincerity, but Bai Chenxiang shook her head. I don't want to be a disciple for a generation. Bai Chenxiang's eyes drifted off. I want a promise, a promise. What promise? Tang Lan raised his eyebrows. Bai Chenxiang mumbled a few words, but her face turned red and she couldn't say anything. He ran out quickly. Wait for my good news. Anyone with eyes could see what Bai Chenxiang's so-called promise was. Zhu Zhuqing was quite helpless, although I have already prepared myself mentally, but Tang Lan was like a walking 100,000-year-old soul bone. Even a woman couldn't walk after seeing it. How much will the sisters get from now on? Tang Lan didn't care. He wasn't interested in marriage. He glanced around. Tang Lan said with a smile, to get in better shape for tomorrow's competition, I'll be your sparring partner. Fighting alone is boring. Let's make it interesting. Zhu Qing and I will be a team, and you disciples will be a team. If you can defeat either of us, I'll give each of you a copy, the opportunity to evolve your martial soul. Instantly, everyone's eyes were bloodshot. The little guy had a fever again, so I took it too. I just drove back from buying medicine. I have to boil the medicine. Today I will update 4400+. Chapter 89 Bug's Shadow Step. Zhu Zhuqing's personal show. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tang Lan's words made everyone's cheeks flush. This was a golden opportunity for martial soul evolution. Of the 10 disciples present, only Tang Lan and Zhu Zhuqing stood to gain. Tang Lan was a tough customer, a real wild card, but Zhu Zhuqing was just a 3-ring soul master. Even if the soul ring absorption gave her a boost, she'd still max out around level 31, all they had to do was defeat either of them to reap the rewards. Uncle Tang, is this some kind of bonus you're offering? Ning Rongrong asked tentatively. I'm not trying to be greedy, but there are 10 of us here. Could you maybe pick another person or two? That the others chimed in with nods of agreement. The odds felt stacked against them, winning seemed almost impossible. Chen was getting anxious. This was a chance for a serious power-up. Even if there were 10 of them, but coming from Tang Lan, Chen believed it implicitly. If he said there was a way, there was a way. This opportunity couldn't be missed. He warned, Rongrong, if this young woman's soul power weren't so low, I think she could wipe the floor with all of you. Ning Rongrong. Everyone, huh. When did Zhu Zhuqing become that powerful? Even with Tang Lan's help and a supercharged soul ring, she was still just a 3-ring soul master. There were several 3-ring soul masters present. How could she possibly take them all down? No way. Absolutely not. But Chen Xian had said it, Sword Douluo was so respected, he wouldn't tease the younger generation for no reason. Their minds were racing, trying to make sense of it. Tang Lan stepped forward and gave a brief explanation about the shadow demon cat. So, Hu Ying's left arm bone has been given to Zhuqing. Now, through this competition, I want you all to understand that this is for the good of the sect, not for personal gain. As he spoke, Tang Lan kept an eye on Tang San. These words were especially for him. Tang San didn't disappoint, his face instantly darkened. That was his destined soul bone. How could it be given away early? Even if this opportunity was rare, what did it have to do with him? He just wanted that soul bone. In contrast, Dai Mubai, seemingly unfazed, acted very nonchalant. He probably didn't think his chances were that great anyway. He volunteered, it would be a shame to pass up such a great chance. The sect's interests come first. I have no objections. The contrast was stark, compared to Tang San's sour expression. The newcomers, Shui Binger and the others, silently branded Tang San as petty and small-minded. The host lets the Tang sect disciples see Tang San's true face and distance himself from him. Sees a tiny amount of Tang San's luck. Reward, all soul bone years plus 500. Oh. He could pull this off twice. Tang Lan smirked and continued his act. Even though this opportunity is rare, it's not a reason for me to go back on my word. I'll add another bonus. If you defeat me or Zhuqing, I will personally pay for all of your future soul rings. And I'll make sure you get the best possible. But if you lose, this tiger eagle left arm bone goes to Zhuqing early. Who's in, and who's out? Dai Mubai immediately said, this added bonus from the sect leader is as good as a 10,000-year soul bone. Who could object? That everyone looked at Tang San. What could Tang San possibly do now? Suggest that Zhu Zhuqing give up the soul bone. He might want to, but Tang Lan would never agree. He forced a smile and said, brother, it's your call. In that case, of course, we have no objections. Ning Rongrong smiled and said, Zhuqing, please have mercy. Zhu Zhuqing remained silent. She squeezed Tang Lan's hand tightly, her gaze sweeping over each person's face. Tang Lan had gone this far for her. He had almost ruined his relationship with his best friend. She had to win big to be worthy of this sacrifice. So, she wouldn't hold back. Ning Rongrong understood the message and quietly moved to the back of the crowd. Oscar seized the opportunity to cast a spell, creating a flying mushroom sausage and tossing it to Ning Rongrong. In team battles, protecting the support was always top priority. Oh. It's starting already. Tang Lan smiled. Zhuqing, go get M. As soon as the words left his mouth, Zhu Zhuqing launched herself at the nearest target. Huang Yuan reacted quickly and released his lone wolf spirit, but he wasn't careful enough. A shadowy cat leaped from under Zhu Zhuqing's feet and shot past him. First soul skill, shadow thrust. A line of blood spurted from Huang Yuan's shoulder, missing his neck by a hair's breadth. Jiangzhu's healing aura activated, but it couldn't heal the wound. A dark energy swirled around it, causing it to keep tearing open. If that blow had landed on a vital spot, he would be dead. Huang Yuan's face was ashen. Was he about to be eliminated? The battle raged on, the agile Jing Ling intercepted Zhu Zhuqing, and having learned from Huang Yuan's mistake, directly activated his martial soul possession. His second soul ring lit up, significantly boosting his stats. At the same time, Tang San, using his hidden weapon techniques, sent a barrage of blue-silver grass from all directions. First soul skill, freeze. Zhu Zhuqing's body was encased in ice, leaving her no way to escape. The blue-silver grass wrapped around her, making it even harder to break free. Dai Mubai, Shui Yuer, and Meng Yiran also rushed in to surround Zhu Zhuqing, an easy victory, but who would deliver the final blow? They exchanged glances, sizing each other up. Suddenly, whoosh! Zhu Zhuqing vanished right before their eyes, but the ice remained intact. What? Where? She's gone. Everyone looked around, confused. Chenxiang shook his head and sighed. Rongrong, you're still too careless. Just then, Ning Rongrong, having eaten the flying mushroom sausage, sprouted her green wings and soared into the sky. Zhu Zhuqing emerged from the shadow behind her. Her shadow claws rested on Ning Rongrong's pale neck. She whispered in her ear, "You lose." It was Zhu Zhuqing's third soul skill, Shadow Step. She could walk through the shadows, leaving no trace, not even to Tang Lan's blue-silver domain. Under the protection of a crowd, the 7 treasure glazed tile pagoda assistant soul master had been forced to tap out without even activating her martial soul. Jing Ling's eyebrows shot up in disbelief. He'd been chasing Ning Rongrong for ages, and hadn't even managed to graze her clothes. And, while everyone was still stunned, Zhu Zhuqing melted back into the shadows and reappeared behind Jiang Zhu, more than 10 meters away, ready to repeat the process. First soul skill, freeze. Only an empty ice cube remained. They couldn't control Zhu Zhuqing at all. Shui Bing'er realized they were in trouble. Her normally unstoppable instant control ability had met its match, but second soul skill, ice ring armor. Including herself, the remaining 8 of them were now encased in rings of ice. If I can't control you, then I won't. Everyone, back to back in pairs. Shui Bing'er shouted. The others immediately complied. This made it impossible for Zhu Zhuqing to launch any more surprise attacks, but would it really work? Chapter 90 The Power of Shadow Shang. Humanoid Plug-in Tang Lan. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The effectiveness of the ice ring armor was obvious moments ago, so, when Zhu Zhuqing appeared before Shui Yuer, claws extended, Shui Yuer, trusting her sister, didn't bother to defend. A backhand slap. Second soul skill, rippling wave. A swirling wave of water missed Zhu Zhuqing's shadow claw, aimed instead for her chest, but the ice ring armor might as well have been air. It didn't slow down the shadow claw at all, which easily snipped off Shui Yuer's earring. Then Zhu Zhuqing melted back into the shadows and vanished, leaving Shui Yuer stunned and Shui Bing'er wide-eyed. Ignores defense. Shui Bing'er was quick on the uptake. The ice ring armor just shatters. It ignores defense. You guys. Before she could finish, Oscar and Meng Yiran were back-to-back. As Zhu Zhuqing launched another claw attack, Oscar was ready this time. He leaned at a sharp angle, letting the shadow claws whiz past his nose. Lingbo Weibu footwork. But Zhu Zhuqing had anticipated that. The shadow beneath his feet morphed into a spinning cat's shadow. Whirling like a top, she unleashed a flurry of strikes in an instant, shattering the ice ring armor. Oscar's clothes were shredded to ribbons. Second soul skill, Shadow 100 Claws. Point 1 hit. Zhu Zhuqing was gone again, swallowed by the shadows. Swish star. Whoosh star. Crack star. Dai Mubai's white tiger light wave, Jing Ling's bone blade, Meng Yiran's snake head cane all struck empty air. Shui Bing'er was about to call everyone together when, swish star. Strands of blue-silver grass snaked around their waists, yanking them toward Tang San. No more splitting up. Tang San declared. Shui Bing'er and I will anchor the formation, with the rest of you forming a defensive perimeter. Shui Bing'er was surprised. This clown actually had a brain in his skull. Tang San had never awakened. His looks are only normal. The 6 formed a tight circle. If Zhu Zhuqing attacked again, she'd face at least 3 of them at once. so she called off the ambush. She reappeared behind Tang Lan, leaning heavily on his shoulder, rising and falling rapidly, absorbing the energy he supplied. For down, 2 major supports eliminated, and looking effortless while doing it, but people forgot, Shadow Step was the 3rd soul skill. Each use drained 30% of her inner strength. If Tang Lan hadn't been constantly replenishing her, she'd be toast. Don't give her a chance to recover. Tang San yelled. Everyone, hold the line and finish this fast. Dai Mubai went on the offensive, activating his 3rd soul skill, White Tiger Vajra Transformation. Meng Yiran unleashed her 3rd soul skill as well, her snake-headed staff sprouting 3 snake heads that lunged at the enemies beside Dai Mubai. Tang Lan raised an eyebrow, as if to say, "Am I invisible?" That he raised his hand, the 3rd soul ring beneath Shui Binger's feet glowed. 3rd soul skill, Ice Ring Resistance. A ring of ice radiated outward, granting a sense of security to those it passed. The shockwave slammed into Tang Lan's chest, attempting to blast him away. A golden light shimmered over Tang Lan's skin, his Vajra indestructible body automatically deploying. He stood firm against the icy ring, as solid as a mountain. Shui Binger was floored. Could her 3rd soul skill not be used? That was insane. But Dai Mubai anticipated that, so he opened his mouth and unleashed White Tiger Light Wave. Tang San hurled a black ball. 3rd soul skill, Spider Web Restraint. Meng Yiran's 3 snake heads also targeted Tang Lan, striking from multiple angles. They fully respected Tang Lan's strength. Too bad. Rise. A forest of life soul blue silver emperors erupted from the ground, forming a wall, shattering the ice ring, deflecting the web, and snaring the snake heads, blocking the White Tiger Light Wave, just a variant application of Tang Lan's 3rd soul skill. Visibly powerful. Taking advantage of the distraction, Zhu Zhuqing took a quick breath and vanished into the shadows again. Tang San, using his purple demon eyes, spotted her through a gap. He yelled, "Heads up. She's on the move again." Everyone tensed, scanning their surroundings. Zhu Zhuqing was nowhere in sight. Shui Binger's ice crystal earring split open. How? Tang San thought, how could he not have seen her? Purple demon eyes at full power. Finally. He glimpsed a darker outline in Jing Ling's shadow, drawing a line toward Jing Ling's shoulder. ****. Jing Ling's clothes ripped open, and blood welled up. He was out. In Jing Ling's shadow. Tang San said, dumbfounded. If she attacks the shadow, the damage is reflected back to the person. White Tiger Light Wave. Dai Mubai launched a blast of light into Jing Ling's shadow. Too slow. Zhu Zhuqing was long gone, perched behind Tang Lan, a black bone tail swinging behind her. She hung limply, greedily absorbing his energy. That was her soul bone skill, Shadow's feedback, which reflected damage by attacking the shadow. The effect was extraordinary. Even with everyone on high alert, she'd taken out 2 more players. But the cost was exorbitant, and she'd be useless in combat for A. While Tang Lan lowered the blue-silver emperor wall, grinning at Tang San and the others. Want to go another round? Tang Lan asked. Zhuqing's wiped out. If we fight again, it'll just be me. Tang San and Dai Mubai visibly cringed. If they had all 10 of them, they might have had a chance, maybe with the martial soul fusion technique. Now, Dai Mubai gave a bitter smile. No point fighting the sect leader. I'm throwing in the towel. Tang San was silent. He couldn't accept it. Why was it over? He still had hidden weapons and firearms. But Tang Lan was at full strength, and it was hard to say if he'd keep playing. Just then, Ning Rongrong ran over and helped Zhu Zhuqing down from Tang Lan's back. Zhuqing, what was that? Ning Rongrong exclaimed. Invisibility, displacement, ignoring defense, and attacking shadows. Are those your 3rd soul skills? That everyone looked at each other in disbelief. Could that be her 3rd soul skill? Not even a 10,000-year soul ring could do that. Zhu Zhuqing said nothing. She flicked her shadow cat soul bone tail. An externally attached soul bone. Shui Binger gasped. That shadow cat also had an externally attached soul bone. Unbelievable, what kind of luck was that? No wonder. Oscar said suddenly. Soul bones and soul rings from the same soul beast greatly amplify soul skill effectiveness. But adding the soul bone skills is still too wild. Out of the 10, Zhu Zhuqing killed 6. Just a 5,000-year-old soul bone, even an external soul bone couldn't be that powerful, right? It was preposterous. Alright, don't dwell on it, Tang Lan said, smiling. Zhu Qing might have carried the girls, but her energy was all me. Without the support, she would have been unable to use the third soul skill at most 3 times. So that was it. Her insane soul skills, coupled with his boundless support, had allowed her to pull off that devastating display. Tang Lan was the secret sauce.